All right, so we are here to do another up pot, hopefully. So this is our Wilhelmina Pinot Princess Scary. If I can get her into focus, there we go. So I initially put her in this pot here, and as you can see, this new growth is coming along rather nicely here. She's starting to work on opening her leaves, but more importantly, there is roots growing. So I want to get her into a larger pot before this bulb matures too much and grows out of the pot. Ideally, didn't work with the Phalaenopsis, but this does have moss in it as well. So ideally, I am just going to flip her over and hopefully we're going to put her in this pot. I know this pot looks really large, but one, it's the smallest neck size that I have. And once I put her in there, she will have plenty of room to grow and I won't have to disturb her for a couple of years. So let's get started. I'm going to leave the stake tied to this larger pseudobulb, but I am going to take this other one out just in case. She's currently in a small fir bark and moss mix, and that is what I'm going to continue to put in here. So I do need to put a little bit of the moss at the bottom to help absorb. And then this one this is a repot me that has the slats in it. So she will get a little more airflow in here than she did in that smaller one because there are no, as you can see, air pockets. And I did that on purpose to keep that humidity in the pot to help encourage root growth once this one did mature or start to mature. So let's just get the top off of here real quick. All right, here we go. So let's see. Should I do it? Yep, I think that'll be enough. But let me put a little bit of bark down here as well. And then a little more moss around the sides here. Again, let's see. It should work better because it does have the moss. I am squeezing the pot just to be sure. And there are rocks at the bottom of here. So if those rocks happen to fall out with it, that's fine. She's so huge. Let's see, where can I grab her? Let's grab her right here, and then I am going to tip her upside down like this and put her in perfect. All right, so this way she should not know that something happened to her, in theory. Let me just turn it this way so that that new growth is more in the middle of the pot instead of the side of the pot, because then that will defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do here. So let me just backfill here with some more moss. And that's how the Phalaenopsis up pot should have worked, but it did not. So, and like I said in that video, usually if there's moss involved, it's a lot easier to do that than it is with bark. Just get it up under here because there's a big air pocket. And I am using quite a bit of moss just because oncidiums do not like to dry out. And this young lady here has not been dry. She's stayed damp since I've put her in here, so that's the environment that she's gotten used to. So that is what I want to continue to encourage that root to grow. And I'm sure she has more roots, but I'm not disturbing anything. Matter of fact, let's see if we can pull it back some. Do you see? She's already got another one right there, and I will be sure to cover that with a little bit of moss as well. Let me put this stake back in to kind of help steady her in. Yep, all right, a little more bark. And again, they don't like a lot of air pockets, so I've got to be extra careful not to have a lot of those in there because then that will defeat, again, the purpose of what we're trying to do here. Put a little bit of moss around that new root growth just to encourage it to continue. And the best time to repot any plant, but especially orchids, is when you do see that new root coming, because any older roots that might reject the repot and die off, those newer roots will adjust and take over and keep your plant nicely hydrated. And this is one of my Brookside orchids that I purchased, and I just cannot say enough about them, about how great their packaging is, their plants are. I've never had any issues with any of the plants I've purchased from them. They are just an amazing company. If you've not ordered from them, I suggest you order if you're looking for quality plants. If you're here in the United States, I don't think they ship internationally. All right, and then we'll just top everything off with some bark. just to keep that moss nice and wet. I say wet, I should say damp. We don't want it wet, but we do want to keep it damp, so. And now she's got plenty of room to grow new growths for me without me having to disturb her again for a couple of years. That's the idea anyway. And I know this back pseudobulb looks like it's really kind of deep in there, but it's mainly bark around there, so it's not going to stay wet. There's not a lot of moss back in that area, but I didn't want to take it off. Like I said, this is more of an up pot than it is a repot, an actual up pot. Like I said, the Phalaenopsis I tried that with, and I'll put a description in the, or put a link in the description, and then a tag up top as well, just to kind of show you guys, so you guys can get a good laugh out of that, because that definitely did not turn out the way that I had planned. And there she is. We'll put the tag back in there. I will put the date on there because we did up pot her, and then hopefully we will start seeing roots galore in here. Just checking for air pockets. I don't see any. Perfect. And then I'll just give her a good watering, and we'll move on from there and watch this beautiful growth develop, and hopefully we'll get some more beautiful flowers here in the next few months. All right, guys, well, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.